everybody and welcome back to my channel. So as promised, this is the follow-up to my event management video. I kind of did a debrief of everything event management, like university wise, if you're choosing to do that course. So I will link that down below if you haven't seen that, because it might be a good idea to watch that first, even though it's a very old video, so I apologise for like the quality and just my face. But there have been a lot of questions that have come from that video, so today I'm here to answer all of them for you. So the number one that I got, I tend to get a lot of questions from a lot of international students, so I don't know if there's much information like abroad about events management or if it's just like an English thing. I should have probably looked into that. But the main question I get is event management a good choice? Now I'm going to be a bit biased because obviously I'm doing events management, so I'm going to say it is. But it is very specific, so if you've never tried events management, I would definitely say try it first to see if you like it, because things like history and English literature teach you a lot of the same disciplines in the sense of like fact finding, reading, problem solving, all of that kind of thing, but it's a lot more transferable to a lot of other professions, whereas event management is quite narrow. You can split off into kind of PR or marketing, but if you decided to then go and be an English teacher, that's not going to work. So yeah, I do think it's a very good choice if you do want to do events management. I mean, I wanted to since about year 11, so it was a good choice for me. I really enjoyed it and enjoy it still there, and learning about everything that it entails. But it's one of those things where you don't necessarily need a degree, so that is also another thing to consider. Event management degrees haven't been around for very long, probably about 30 years, maybe even less than that. So a lot of people who are at the top of event management companies right now don't have a degree. There's no one saying that you have to have an event management degree to do event management. How many times am I going to say event management in this video? There are definitely other ways around it. You can do work experience, like I said, you can intern, you can just start and work your way up in a kind of hotel or a venue or things like that. That is another way to go around it. I always recommend doing both, because then you've got all of the boxes ticked on your CV. But it is really up to you. If you feel like you're someone who doesn't really study very well, doesn't like independent study, having to read and like self-motivate yourself to do a 5,000 word essay, maybe university as a whole isn't for you. There are other ways around it if that is the case for you. But if you quite like studying and meeting new people and being in new environments and all the things that come with university, maybe it is a good choice. Having done an events management degree, or like nearly done, I've finished second year, doing gap year or placement year, interning, and then into my third year. So having done 2 years of events management, I would say it is not a necessity. A lot of the things you learn are common sense and you kind of can put things together yourself. And having done this internship or placement or whatever you want to call it, some things are transferable, but obviously you learn on the job as much as anyone else does. So it's not necessarily like, oh yeah, you need it, you're going to really struggle if you don't have a degree. But the main reasons I went to uni were for like to live in London, to get new opportunities. Like, I wouldn't be working in a company in London if I didn't go to a London uni, if that makes sense. So it has opened a lot of doors for me other than just the degree. I feel like I kind of answered the second question within the first question, which was, is it worth getting a degree? As I said, it is completely up to you and your preferences and your lifestyle and what you want at the end of it. I chose to do the degree to kind of, as I said, get more opportunities, open some more doors and kind of jump up a few levels, because I didn't really want to have to work all the way from the bottom up. I polished spoons and all of that, and that just wasn't for me. But like I said, if you are one of those people who likes to get your hands stuck in and doesn't really like to study and things like that, then it is not worth getting a degree. The next question was, what uni do I go to? I've probably said this about 1,000 times on my channel, so if you're an OG, I'm very sorry. But I go to the University of Greenwich, which is South East London. It's the number one uni, or was the number one uni, don't know if it still is, for events in London when I joined. Been there for 2 years, absolutely love it. It's a stunning building, teachers are really nice. And we don't have to do any like finance bits, which is good, because Bournemouth is like the number one for events. And if you don't know, I'm from Bournemouth, so everyone was like, oh my god, why are you moving? Wow. I was like, I'm not doing finance, and I'm not going to stay in Bournemouth to do events at a hotel when I can be working in the O2. Next question was, did I go straight to uni? And yes, I did. I'm not sure whether I regret it or not. People who have done a gap year have done amazing things. there's a lot of like working 9 to 5 a lot to save up to do these amazing things. But having now gone straight to uni, done a placement year, finished uni, and then I'll go straight probably into a job, I'm realising that my holidays in uni, like summer and Christmas and stuff, that's really the only time I'm going to have off forever now. Like there's no time where I'm just going to take a gap out, like a year. Again, I think it depends on the kind of person you were. I was really scared that if I skipped a year and kind of worked and saw the world and things, I wouldn't want to go to uni. Maybe that would have been a good thing, save myself some money in the long term. But I decided to go straight into it. I really enjoyed it, met some really cool people, and a lot of people chose to do the same thing as me, which was nice. But again, we did have a lot of older students as well, or older, a couple of years older. So I wouldn't say that it was a reason to kind of deter you from not doing a gap year, from doing a gap year. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. So yeah, I did not do a gap year. Kind of wish I did, but I feel like I'm just gonna take some time out afterwards and do it that way. Next question was, what subjects do you need to be able to study events management? I had A-levels in business, media and English lit. I think some require like GCSE or AS level English or maths. I had both a GCSE and then obviously English, AS and A-level. But it's usually quite open for interpretation as to what subjects we want to take. Business really helped. A lot of stuff like formulas and things transferred over from business, so that was a huge help. So if you are at that stage where you're year 11, you know you want to do events management and you're choosing your A-levels, I would suggest business because it's just a good starting point. Year 1 there's kind of a lot of lap over, so you'll find year 1 quite easy. Not that I want anyone to cheat or anything, but it's just a bit easier if you've done it. Otherwise, English is always nice, but it's not required, so. But yeah, you can pretty much have any subjects you want as long as you've got the kind of standard GCSE mix. A lot of places do ask for ABB or AAB, which is quite high, I guess. I mean, a lot of unis go lower. There's a mix of kind of everything. University of Greenwich was ABB, I believe, which worked out to like 140 UCAS points. But I mean, nowadays it's all 8 and 9 and 1 and 4 and all of that, so I have no idea what they're asking for anymore. I'm out of the loop. The next question was, how long is my course? My course was originally 3 years with an optional 4 years, so the third is the placement year, which is what I'm doing now. And I originally started as a 3-year and then decided that I would do a placement. Originally I didn't want to make my uni any longer than it had to. I was like, why would I want to study for longer, just get me done. But after being there and kind of speaking to the business school and kind of understanding how much value that the placement could offer me, I decided that it might be a good idea, so I've gone ahead and done it. So my course is now 4 years. Your placement can be 9 to 12 months. I've done 12 months and I've made sure to leave a summer at either end, so I'm not going straight from September to September and then back to uni. Another question was, what subjects do you study within events management? We did a lot. I think there was like at least 6 subjects per year. So I'll name a few, but I can't remember all of them. We did Introduction to Events, which was kind of like what an event is, kind of the typology and characteristics of it. Event Design. Yeah, Event Design, which was kind of like how it's come together, put together, theming and everything like that. I chose to do corporate events, which is kind of marketing. That is not what it was. Corporate events, which is kind of like conferences and meetings and the more kind of business events. And then I chose to do marketing, which is where marketing came from, which wasn't really to do with events. It was more kind of tourism based. It was just kind of very marketing. But I thought it might help me in the long run, so did that one. We also did HR, which I hated. But again, it might come in handy one day, who knows. We then did a dissertation course. You do that in your last term of your second year, getting ready for third year when you do your dissertation. That's all the ones I can think of off the top of my head. I know there are a lot more, but some of them are pretty interesting, not HR. The next question was kind of scary. It is, what are you planning on doing when you finish your degree? I have no clue. I was really sure I wanted to work for a venue as a corporate event planner. I'm currently working for a venue, or multiple venues, as a corporate event planner. And I don't know if that's what I want to do. So, who knows at this point. I think I might want to do kind of the event creation, because working for a venue, the event is already created. You just have to kind of ask how many chairs they want and put out the tables and things like that. So that is a possibility of someone coming to me saying, hey, it's my 21st birthday, what should I do? And then I can put together a plan and like a mood board and all that fun stuff, like, oh, you should do this, and then find the venue for it. Or I might go into sales. I'm trying that in my last 2 months of my placement. So selling people the venue, so they'll come to us with the event already done, saying like, oh, would this work in this space? And then you've got to try and sell the space to them, like, oh, this would go great in this room, you could have this here, blah blah blah. So I'm going to try that as well. Event planning is great, like it pays bills, it's doing a good job, alright. I like it's interesting most of the time, but once you've planned 1 dinner or 10 dinners or 50 dinners, like it all becomes quite repetitive. And I thought I liked repetition, like I thought I was a habit gal, like I like having a routine, but apparently not. So I'm going to try and find something a bit spicier. The last question is the biggest question I get all the time. Is it expensive? Yes, it's freaking expensive, especially in London. Don't know why I chose to move here, but I did, and it's very expensive. What you have to remember is the loan is higher in London because you kind of get that additional living cost or whatever it's called. So that's always nice. I mean, it goes very quickly. Rent is more expensive, food is more expensive. Going out is freaking expensive. So if you're a party girl, don't come to London because you'll cry. Up north, obviously not as bad. Still university, still expensive, still 9 grand plus a year. But I'm never going to pay it back. I've done the maths. The debt is just going to be there forever, and you pay it back in such small increments that it doesn't really bother me. I think 9.5 grand or whatever it is now scares a lot of people, but if you actually do the maths and work out how much you have to earn to be able to pay that off, realistically, it's not going to happen. So I don't feel as stressed about that, and again, I have gained such good experience and opportunities from it that I think it's invaluable in a lot of other ways. I know it's more expensive for international students, so check out that before you kind of sign up for it, because I think it's like 12 grand a year or something. Oh, that was another question I got, whether it was 12 grand for international students for the whole time or whether that was per year. The costs are set out per year. Doing a placement year, it's only an extra £1,000. It's not £9,000 to do a placement year, thank goodness. But yeah, it does add up very quickly. But yeah, they are all the follow-on questions that I got from my previous video. If you have any more, leave them down below, because obviously I'd be more than happy to you're asking, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Alternatively, you can DM me on Instagram, which is where a lot of them have come from. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.